right, so today we're tackling something I think we all struggle with sometimes.
Okay.
Staying motivated all day long, right?
Yeah.
You know when you've got your to-do list and it just feels overwhelming?
It feels impossible.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know Procrastination is just like right there.
Oh, yeah. Always lurking.
So we're going to explore some strategies from this podcast episode I listened to.
Okay, cool.
And I really like what they had to say. I think there's some great stuff in here.
Yeah.
So let's do a deep dive, you know?
I love that.
And like pull out those nuggets of wisdom.
Sounds good.
Now, what I really appreciated is that these strategies, they're not just like, you know, feel-good stuff.
Yeah.
There's actual science backing them up.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, it's not just like, oh, this sounds nice.
Yeah.
Like, there's actual reasons why this works.
Yeah, you can trust it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the first one.
Okay.
Starting your day with purpose.
I like it.
So they suggest ditching like that morning phone scroll,
Oh, yeah?
which can be so tempting.
A black hole.
And instead setting a clear intention, like what's the one thing you want to achieve today?
Mm-hmm.
Write it down, visualize yourself like crushing it,
Oh, I love that.
and let that guide your actions
Yeah.
throughout the day.
So it's like giving yourself a pep talk in the morning and like a
Yeah.
roadmap for the day.
Yeah.
All before coffee even.
Yes. And what I found fascinating is that they really emphasized visualization.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is something
That's powerful.
that like elite athletes, CEOs,
All sorts of people.
they all use this.
Yeah.
And the idea is that by vividly imagining yourself succeeding, you're priming your mind and body
Mm-hmm.
for peak performance.
Yeah, you're already like
Yeah.
getting yourself in that zone.
It's like a mental dress rehearsal
Yeah, that.
for success.
Yeah.
And then to kind of like solidify that sense of purpose,
Okay.
they also recommend creating a morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be anything fancy,
Right.
just something to get you in the right headspace.
Yeah, just like get yourself going.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on morning routines?
Well, I think even something as simple as like a few minutes of stretching
Yeah.
or, deep breathing
Mm-hmm.
or even journaling can just set a really positive tone for the day.
For sure. For sure. Okay. So we've set our intention. We've got our routine down.
Okay.
Now, how do we keep that energy up?
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, this podcast brings in the power of movement.
Movement.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think this makes a lot of sense.
I mean, when you move your body, your brain gets a boost too, right?
Absolutely. Tell me about it. Even a quick burst of exercise can like totally shift my mood.
Yeah.
But what's the science behind that?
Okay, so it all comes down to endorphins, your brain's natural mood boosters.
Okay.
So specifically, exercise triggers the release of dopamine and serotonin,
Mm-hmm.
which are linked to feeling happy, motivated,
Oh, yeah.
and even like reduced anxiety.
Wow.
But it goes beyond just feeling good. Exercise also increases blood flow to the brain, which enhances cognitive function, memory, and focus.
So it's not just about feeling good, it's about thinking better too.
Exactly.
I like that.
That's a win-win.
Yeah, it makes those afternoon slumps a little less daunting.
Right.
So what kind of movement do you think works best?
Honestly, the best exercise is the one that you will actually do.
That's true.
So whether it's a brisk walk,
Mm-hmm.
a dance break, or a quick yoga session,
Yeah,
find something that you enjoy and that you can realistically fit into your day.
I can definitely get behind that.
Okay.
Now, this next strategy, they use a really relatable analogy,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
fueling your brain, just like you fuel your car.
Okay.
We all know what happens when we put the wrong fuel in our car, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, bad things.
Yeah, not good.
Well, same goes for our brains.
Okay, I'm listening.
What we eat has a huge impact on our energy levels
I mean, it makes sense.
and our ability to focus.
Totally.
So what kind of premium fuel are we talking about here?
So we want to be thinking about nutrient-rich foods that are going to provide sustained energy.
Okay, so things like fruits, vegetables, lean protein,
Mm-hmm.
whole grains.
Okay.
These foods provide a steady release of glucose, which is like your brain's primary energy source.
Interesting.
On the flip side, you've got highly processed foods.
Yeah.
Sugary drinks.
Yeah, those are tempting.
They lead to those energy crashes
Oh, yeah.
and make it harder to concentrate.
For sure. They actually mentioned a study in the podcast
Oh, really?
about how sugary drinks impair cognitive performance.
Like literally.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
wild.
Oh.
So if you're reaching for that soda,
Yeah.
maybe opt for a glass of water instead.
Dehydrated.
Right. Always a good reminder.
Always.
Okay, speaking of things that can boost your mood and focus,
Yeah.
let's talk about music.
Music.
Yes. This podcast really highlights how powerful music can be. And I have to say, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Music can totally shift my mindset.
It's like a soundtrack for your day.
I love creating playlists for different tasks.
Oh, me too.
And different moods.
Yeah, for sure. Do you do that?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And you know what's interesting is that different types of music can be used strategically.
I like that.
So upbeat music with a fast tempo can be really energizing.
Oh, yeah.
For workouts or tasks that require a lot of energy.
Makes sense.
And then on the other hand, you've got like calming instrumental music.
Yeah.
That might be better for like focused work or relaxing.
For sure. And then there's the whole Mozart effect.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been intrigued by that. Have you looked into the research?
Yeah, a little bit.
At all?
Yeah, it's been a topic of much debate.
Okay.
The initial study suggested that listening to Mozart could temporarily boost certain cognitive abilities,
Okay.
particularly spatial temporal reasoning.
Right.
But those findings have been difficult to replicate consistently.
So maybe not a guaranteed IQ booster,
Yeah.
but still worth exploring.
For sure, it's all about finding what works for you.
Exactly. Okay, now let's get real for a second.
Okay.
Overwhelm. We all experience it. It's the worst.
That feeling of having a million things on your plate and suddenly motivation takes a nosedive.
Gone.
What's the antidote to that?
Well, this podcast talks about breaking down
Okay.
large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps.
So it's like tackling that mountain.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Exactly. Instead of trying to climb the whole thing at once.
Right.
Which is just impossible.
Yeah, and they mentioned this technique called the 2-minute rule.
Oh, yeah.
What's your take on that?
Okay, I love the 2-minute rule.
Okay.
It's so simple,
Okay.
but it's so effective.
All right, I'm listening.
Basically, if a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately.
Okay.
It's a way to like quickly check things off your list and create a sense of accomplishment.
Okay, so you're building momentum.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I like it. And then for those bigger tasks, you know those mountains on our to-do list?
Right.
They suggest using a to-do list.
Okay.
And prioritizing tasks based on urgency and importance. Yeah, I mean, that's key, right?
Totally.
Prioritization helps you focus your energy on the most critical tasks.
Right.
And prevents you from feeling overwhelmed by trying to do everything at once.
So we're tackling our tasks step by step.
Okay.
But even with the best strategies, sometimes we need a break.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
This podcast argues that pushing yourself too hard can backfire.
Oh, yeah. I've learned that the hard way.
In the long run, it's like running a marathon without stopping. You're bound to hit a wall eventually.
Exactly. Our brains need time to rest and recharge to function optimally.
Totally. And they actually recommend the Pomodoro technique.
Okay, what's that?
So you work for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break.
Oh, I like that.
So it's like this structured approach to staying productive without burning out.
So you're not just working.
Right. It's like built-in breaks.
I like that.
Okay, break time. But what are we doing during those breaks?
Oh, yeah, good question.
Scrolling social media?
No, absolutely not. The key is to step away from screens and engage in activities that actually help you unwind and recharge.
Give me some examples.
So think stretching, getting some fresh air, listening to calming music, maybe practicing a few minutes of mindfulness.
Oh, mindfulness. That's a good one. I've been trying to incorporate more of that into my day.
Me too.
What are your thoughts on mindfulness?
I think it can be incredibly beneficial for reducing stress, improving focus, and cultivating a sense of presence.
Yeah.
Even just a few minutes of mindful breathing can make a difference.
I'll have to try that during my next break.
Yeah, it's great.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. They talked about the power of positive energy and how the people we surround ourselves with can actually impact our motivation.
That's interesting.
It's like emotional osmosis or something.
I've definitely experienced that.
So have I. It's called emotional contagion.
Oh, wow.
And it's a real phenomenon. Emotions can literally spread from person to person.
That's wild.
So if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it's likely to drain your energy and motivation.
It's like having your energy battery constantly drained.
Yeah. What do we do about that? Do we just ditch all our negative friends?
Oh, I don't know about that.
No.
But it is important to be mindful
Okay.
of the energy you're exposing yourself to.
So be selective.
Yes, seek out positive, supportive people who lift you up and inspire you.
That's a great point. Surround yourself with people who are passionate, driven, and optimistic.
Yeah, their energy can be contagious.
I love that.
in the best way possible.
It reminds me of this time when I was working on this project, and it was just like sucking the life out of me.
Oh, no.
I was hitting a wall. My motivation was gone. I was ready to give up.
Been there.
And I decided to take a break and grab coffee with a friend.
Okay.
And this friend is like a walking ray of sunshine.
Oh.
Just being around them, hearing them talk about their own projects and their passions, it was like an instant energy boost.
I love that.
I went back to my project feeling so much better, refreshed, re-energized, ready to tackle it with a new perspective.
That's amazing. See, that's what I'm talking about.
It's so true. It's like our social environment can really impact our motivation.
For sure. So be mindful of the company you keep.
Yeah.
Seek out those positive influences.
Surround yourself with good people.
Yes. People who recharge your battery.
I love that.
Yay.
Okay, speaking of recharging,
Right.
let's talk about celebrating those small wins.
Love it.
This podcast really emphasizes the importance of acknowledging progress, not just waiting for those big milestones.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in the what's next
Right.
and forget to appreciate what we've already accomplished.
Totally. But celebrating those small victories is crucial
It is.
for maintaining motivation and building momentum.
I agree. It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back.
Yeah. Like, hey, good job, keep going. And they even suggest keeping a wins journal
Ooh, I like that.
to track those accomplishments.
What a good idea.
Yeah.
Writing down your wins, even those small ones, can have a big impact on your mindset.
I think so too.
A tangible reminder of your progress and your capabilities.
It shifts your focus from what you haven't done yet
Yeah.
to what you have accomplished.
Right.
And that can be really motivating. Okay, now this last strategy
Okay.
is all about ending your day on a positive note.
Love it.
They recommend taking some time before bed to reflect on the day's highlights,
It's about focusing on the good.
even on those tough days.
Yeah.
So instead of replaying all the things that went wrong, you're intentionally choosing to focus on what went well.
Exactly.
What did you accomplish?
Yeah.
What brought you joy? What are you grateful for?
Love those questions.
By asking yourself these questions, you're shifting your attention to the positive, which can have a ripple effect on your overall mood and motivation.
It's power.
And they specifically mentioned incorporating gratitude into this reflection.
Gratitude is a superpower.
Right.
Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can increase happiness, improve sleep, reduce stress,
Wow.
even enhance physical health.
So many benefits.
It's incredible. They suggested a nightly gratitude practice.
Okay.
Where you write down 3 things you're grateful for.
I like that. It's such a simple practice,
Yeah.
but it can be so transformative.
It really can.
What?
By consistently focusing on the good, we train our brains to be more optimistic, more resilient, more appreciative.
And they said that gratitude can actually become a self-perpetuating cycle.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So the more you focus on what you're grateful for,
Yeah.
the more you notice and appreciate the positive things around you, which fuels a sense of contentment and well-being,
I love that.
which then enhances your gratitude even more.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
Exactly. It just keeps giving. Okay, so to recap, we've explored these 9 strategies for staying motivated, starting with purpose, moving your body, fueling your mind with healthy food, harnessing the power of music, breaking down tasks, taking breaks, surrounding yourself with positive energy, celebrating small wins, and ending the day with reflection and gratitude.
Wow, that's quite a list.
It is. It's like a cheat sheet for motivation.
Exactly. And remember,
Yeah.
you don't have to do all of these things at once.
Right.
Start with 1 or 2 that resonate with you
Yeah.
and see how they work.
Experiment.
Yeah.
Adjust.
Find what feels best for you.
It's all about finding what works for you and creating a sustainable approach to staying motivated.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, some days are just harder than others.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Motivation is not always a constant.
So it's okay to have those days
Absolutely.
where you're just not feeling it.
Yes. Give yourself permission to rest and recharge.
We're not robots.
Right.
We need those moments of rest.
Oh.
Okay, we've covered so much today. I'm feeling really inspired.
Me too.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought. We've talked about all these strategies for staying motivated day to day.
Right.
But what about the bigger picture?
Oh, like that.
It's not just about feeling motivated in the moment. It's about channeling that motivation towards something meaningful,
That's so true.
something that aligns with our values and aspirations.
I love that.
So here's the question for you to consider.
Okay, I'm ready.
How can you use these strategies to not only stay motivated in your daily life, but also to make meaningful progress toward those goals and dreams that really matter to you?
That's a great question.
It's about connecting our daily actions with our long-term vision.
And creating a life that feels both purposeful and fulfilling.
I think that's a powerful thought to end on.
I love that.
It's like we're creating a roadmap for our motivation.
Yeah.
Making sure it's taking us where we want to go.
It's about making sure your energy is actually going towards something that's meaningful.
Totally.
Something that you really care about.
Yeah, so we've got our daily strategies, we've got our roadmap for motivation, but how do we keep that fire burning, long term?
Yeah, that's the real challenge.
What can we do to make sure we don't lose sight of those bigger goals?
One thing that's really helped me is regularly revisiting my goals.
Okay.
And just making sure that they still feel aligned with, what I want.
Yeah.
And then adjusting them as needed because, life changes.
Yeah.
Our priorities change.
Right.
And it's important to make sure that our goals are reflecting those changes.
Yeah. It's like checking in with your internal compass.
I love that.
Making sure you're still heading in the right direction.
Yes.
What else?
Another thing that's been really helpful for me is finding ways to stay accountable.
Oh, accountability. That's a big one.
It is. Whether it's joining a mastermind group, finding an accountability partner,
Yeah.
or even just like sharing your goals with a friend.
Yeah.
Someone who's supportive.
Having that support system.
Yes. Having someone to check in with can make a huge difference.
It's like having a cheerleader in your corner, reminding you of what you're capable of.
Yes.
And keeping you on track.
Accountability is a game changer.
I agree. Okay, speaking of game changers,
All right.
have you ever considered the power of rewards?
Ooh, rewards, tell me more.
Like, treating yourself to something nice when you hit a milestone.
Yes.
Exactly.
Nice little incentive.
It's all about incentives.
It's stay motivated.
It's like giving yourself a little something to look forward to.
Makes the journey more enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure.
And it can help you push through those tough moments.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be anything big or extravagant.
Yeah.
It could be something small.
It could be a relaxing bath, a movie night, a delicious meal.
Yeah.
It's just about celebrating your progress.
Taking a moment for yourself.
Exactly, and recharging your batteries.
Okay, so we've got our daily strategies. We've got our long-term vision. We've got a sprinkle of rewards to keep things interesting.
Okay.
What else can we do to set ourselves up for success? I think one of the most important things is cultivating a growth mindset.
Ooh, a growth mindset.
Yes. Embracing challenges as opportunities for learning.
So it's about changing our perspective from I can't do this to I'm learning how to do this.
Exactly.
It's a skill that can be developed.
It is.
Like building up those mental muscles.
Exactly. So we can face anything that comes our way.
And remember, motivation, it's a journey, not a destination.
So true.
There will be ups and downs.
Absolutely.
Some days you'll feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
Other days you'll need a little extra push.
It happened.
The key is to have those strategies.
Have your toolkit ready.
Exactly. And to be kind to yourself along the way.
Yes. Self-compassion is so important.
This has been such a great conversation.
I've really enjoyed it.
I feel so inspired.
Me too.
And I hope our listeners do too.
I hope so.
Remember, you have the power within you to achieve incredible things.
You do.
Keep that fire burning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.